this is a really fun main event. Like, Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze is an incredible main event. Like, look, everybody knows that, if you've watched this before, you know I'm a huge fan of Giga Chikadze. I mean, I did pick against him when he fought Edson Barbosa. I thought Edson Barbosa might have his number because I thought, oh, if you're standing with Edson Barbosa, how do you pick against Edson Barbosa in a stand-up fight? And Giga Chikadze was just a step quicker. Everything he threw was just so fast. And he's in and he's out. And at kicking range, he is devastating. And that is where I think this one is going to go. Because look, don't get me wrong, like, Calvin Kattar, he is a phenomenal fighter. He's really good. His boxing is outstanding. Max Holloway fight aside, right? He does go in with that boxing heavy style, and because he is very good at it, he's got decent power and he's got good hands. But the problem is going to be at kicking range for Calvin Kattar, because in kicking range, that's no good. That's no good against Giga Chikadze, my man. It just isn't. Like, anybody stands in kicking range with Giga Chikadze is going to pay for it. That Giga kick is no joke. Do you know what I mean? He will smack that kick right into the liver, and that's it. You are donezo. You're not taking more than one of those. Do you know what I mean? And his last 3 opponents have found out how good he is at kicking range and how good he is on the feet in general. So to be able to knock out Edson Barbosa like that was absolutely incredible, because it's Edson Barbosa. Edson Barbosa is no joke. Do you know what I mean? He's one of the best strikers on the planet. So to go in there in a kickboxing match, effectively, it was effectively a kickboxing match in a UFC octagon, to be able to go in there and dominate Giga Chikadze and dominate Edson Barbosa like that is, quite frankly, unbelievable. Because look, Giga Chikadze, he had his share of decisions. He doesn't finish all the time. He only finishes opponents about, just better than half the time. So it's not like he was like a massive prolific finisher. But you've got to look at his recent record. He is on a 7-fight win streak in the UFC. It's longer than that. I think it's about 9 or 10 in total. But if you're just counting UFC fights, he is on a 7-fight win streak. His last 3 have been very impressive KOs. And he's only lost twice in his career, like very, very early on as well. So, and the thing is like, where's Kattar going to be mentally? Because we haven't seen him, don't forget, for about a year since he took that massive beatdown off of Max Holloway. Max Holloway just beat the fuck. It was the one where Max Holloway landed the most significant strikes in the history of the UFC, was dancing around looking at the commentary table saying, yeah, I'm the best boxer in the UFC, and that is a beating that takes something out of you. Do you know what I mean? There was an argument that they should have thrown in the towel, honestly, because he was getting beaten up that badly. However, I would note that Kattar didn't go down. Do you know what I mean? He took all that punishment and he kept on swinging. And that's what is baffling me a little bit. It's throwing me a little bit, because you'd be forgiven for thinking, look, Giga Chikadze, he's on a real good run. It's likely to be at kicking range at least at some points in this fight. And Giga Chikadze has been finishing all of his fights lately. He's just going from strength to strength to strength, and he's annihilating people. And this is a 5-round fight as well. So you would be forgiven for thinking that, yeah, look, Giga Chikadze is getting the finish over 5 rounds. And there's a decent chance that he does so. There is a good chance that he does exactly that. However, slight caveat in that is the toughness of Calvin Kattar, because Calvin Kattar has never been knocked out. Never been knocked out. And he took a beat down off of Max Holloway and he still kept on coming, right? So I think actually you're getting better odds. This one they have got odds on. Thank you, Skybet. You're getting better odds on the Giga decision, because the Giga knockout is 2.50, the decision 3.75, and actually I do think there's a good chance that this goes to a decision, just because of how tough Calvin Kattar is, and if Giga Chikadze goes far enough ahead in the first 3 rounds, he doesn't necessarily have to take all the risks. He can still just, it'll still be a good fight, but I just don't know. I think that the beating that Kattar is able to take, maybe that fight took something out of him. We might see him get knocked out early this time, or maybe we'll see him win. Do you know what I mean? I'm not counting out Kattar completely. Do you know what I mean? That'd be super disrespectful, because the guy's good. He's got good power in his hands and he does have very slick boxing. But I just think the kicking range is going to be a real problem for Calvin Kattar. But I don't think that Kattar is going to go down. I think he's too tough for that. So I'm going with the Giga Chikadze by decision. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun one because I really want to see Giga Chikadze. I think he beats Kattar. If he beats him really impressively, if he goes against my bet and just absolutely just starches Kattar in rounds 1 or 2, then you've got an argument there for him to be heading towards a title shot, because Giga Chikadze is a scary, scary man. He's a bad man, and I am really looking forward to this main event. So I'll be obviously wrapping up, seeing how these bets actually go on Tuesday, Wednesday next week, whenever I feel like it. And yeah, fingers crossed. And until then, well, until next time, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.